Hello my lovelies, this is a reading for Libra for the month of April 2019. Well, I have to tell you, I've tried this 4 times for you guys, and it's been a stop and a start and a stop and a start and interruptions and such like. So I get the feeling that for you during April there will be this stops and starts, delays, a feeling of starting something and something coming in to prevent you from clearing it, finishing it, completing it. So we'll see how the reading flows, and hopefully it will. But you've got some very interesting little oracle cards that have come up. So maybe one of the reasons why we've got this push me, pull you energy around you is that in towards the end of March there was a full moon in your sign in Libra, and towards the end of April there's another full moon in your sign, which is very unusual. It's quite rare, and it is said that when there are 2 full moons in a certain month, then it's a blue moon. So it has a very interesting significance to it. The first full moon was at 0 degrees, and the next full moon will be at 29 degrees. So within each moon cycle and each zodiac sign, there are 30 degrees. So in the whole zodiac, 360 degrees divided by 12 means 30 degrees per sign. So with it, the full moon being at 0 degrees in March, that is like a completion, an ending of an era, an ending of a cycle. And the moon will move right through its whole cycle to the 29th degree. So you will have a beginning and an ending. So there's a bit like the push me, pull you, starting and stopping energies around you all the way through the month of April. And so we say the 0 degree is like an ending and a beginning, and the 29th degree is like the final degree of a sign. Also 29 adds up to 11, and 11 is a master number. So this is about you mastering the energy associated with 11, and 11 is the visionary. It's the prophet, it is the intuitive, it's that ability just to know. So if you have a vision for your future that has been building over maybe many years or even many lifetimes, it is coming to fruition, because when the moon is full, things come to fruition and we can see them more clearly. It's like a spotlight is being shone upon them. However, the moon doesn't have its own light. It's only when the sun shines directly onto it that the whole face of the moon is illuminated. So you need that sun, you need that sunshine energy for things to show up for you. So you may have found that the first 3 months of the year, January, February, March, has been you coming to the conclusion that things are ending, have ended, need to end, need to be got rid of, say bye-bye to. And for some of those things, it can be quite sad. It can be quite disconcerting, and a feeling of part of you might want to hang on to those aspects. But the universe is shaking us all up at the moment, and this is for us to let out a big sigh, take a deep breath in, and to be able to acknowledge what we've put our energies into that has died a death and that we can't carry along with us. So when we breathe out, that is called expiration, to expire, to die. And when we breathe in, that is called inspiration, in spirit, to feel inspired. And so by letting go of a lot of the feelings that you've held within yourself, because sometimes we hold our breath and we don't realise that we're doing it, and you hold your breath out of anxiety or a sense of fear or a sense of terror in some cases, that you cannot decide what to do. You can't move forward, you can't move back, you're just stuck in that situation. And so when we have that ability to exhale and let go, the automatic reaction is to then inhale, inspiration. And when we feel inspired, that's when we allow that higher aspect of ourselves to guide us. So if you've had a lot of stuff going on in your head, and lovely Libras would like to find harmony and balance, and if I do this, oh, that'll happen. Oh, but if I do this, that'll happen. And so you can get analysis paralysis, which is that feeling stuckness. I can't move forward. I don't want to go back, but I don't know how to actually move forward. So there's this shift for you. And sandwiched in between these two full moons in your sign is a new moon in the sign of Aries. So this is the energy that will really give you that kickstart. It'll push you forward. It'll burn off all of that stuckness, that old cobwebs, old debris that we allow to cling to us in our lives. And a lot of those old cobwebby thoughts of not being clear, not being able to make decisions, so procrastination and self-sabotage. So what is coming in for you with this new moon is to do with self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth. So it's a matter of how you now value who you are on lots and lots and lots of different levels. So if you've devalued yourself or undervalued yourself, and when we do that, that comes from fear-based ego, and then that is what you get back from those around you. They will not value you, they will devalue you or undervalue you. So there's this shift and change in energies of allowing that old debris to slough off, to be burned off with the new moon, and to step forward in a much more harmonious, balanced way. So the oracle cards that have shown up for you are lovely, and the first little one is the Angel of Love, and all of those beautiful hearts coming at you. Not just one, not just two, bucket loads and bucket loads and bucket loads of love. So this is saying that you are loved, you are cherished, you are adored by the universe, and you are you will always have that support, that encouragement around you. We have to start with ourselves, so this is self-love. So if you haven't felt very enamoured of yourself recently, or you've allowed others to project their disapproval or sense of lack onto you, then that's another thing that needs to go in the bin. And how you move through this extraordinary month with these energies of balance and the full moons and the exuberating new moon energy in Aries. Because Libra is represented by the scales, the harmony, the balance. And Aries energy is the ram. So it's using your head and just to burst through, and on a level of not thinking about it. It's just doing it instinctively, being able to just allow your gut instinct, your visionary ideas to pull you forward. So in a way, this is your future self. Yes, it's only maybe a couple of weeks down the line, but it's also long term. Your future self is saying, come on, this is the way, come on, I'm here, I'm waiting for you. We've got such exciting things to do. But your past self might be saying, oh, I'm not sure, oh, does it feel right? I don't know if that's the right place for me to go. And when you can just release that, let that go, bin the old stuff, and allow your future self to encourage you, to call you, to show you the pathway. And because Aries is, as I say, fire energy, it's like a floodlight, a dirty great arc light shining down onto your pathway. You can't miss it. You cannot miss the path. It's being lit up, it's being illuminated, and not just by the moons, but by the sun's energy, the fire. So if you've been feeling a little bit lethargic, or you get up and go has got up and gone, this is going to give you a really good boost to motivation, to focus, and to, as I say, allow your future self to call you and to show exactly which steps to take. And it's all to do with love. Love of self initially, loving what you do, loving the people around you. If you don't love what you do, and you're in a situation or a job or career that drains you, and you feel resentment about going to this work every single day, well, this is an opportunity for you now to leave situations around you that have no love in them, that have no joy in them, that have no sense of purpose. And because your future self is calling you, know that something far better, far more joyful, far more loving is entering your life. If you've had a few little things on the back burner over the last few months or years, and a part of you has felt that'll never come to fruition, and your self-esteem has been knocked by those around you, now's the time to bring those things forward, to really dust off old ideas, old manuscripts, old plans, get them out of the dungeon, bring them up to the surface, lay them out on the kitchen table, have a good look at them, discard those that you know won't work anymore, but bring to the fore those things that, with a little bit of insight, with a bit of vision, you can turn into something totally amazing. This can apply to your work and your career, but also to your family life, to your relationships. So if there have been some cobwebs around your love life, and you're just going for complacency and settling for what is, this could be a bit of a wake-up call, and for you to say, right, this, it's sort of comfortable, but there's a discomfort to that, and for me to feel happy, fulfilled and joyful within this relationship, the things have to change. We can't force others to change and say, oh, you have to do this, this and this, and you have to behave in this way for me to really want you in my life, because that's conditional. The way that the universe works is, as we change, others around us change. So you start to live your life how you wish it to be, and you start to use your imagination to create the life that you wish to have with that person, or with that job, or with that situation, and daydreaming. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, it's a waste of time daydreaming, you're just, up in the clouds. But you're an air sign. Libra is an air sign. So you do spend time up in the clouds, and you have that ability to pluck from the clouds or the ethers all sorts of ideas and inventions even. So this is a time for you to invent, to dream your dreams into reality. And the first thing you do is put love in the mix. You put love on your toast before you eat it. You put love in the bath before you get into it. So it's in you, on you, around you, in everything that you do. That is the first priority. Put love in the mix. And so your self-mastery card is maturity. So they're all different forms of maturity. There's mature cheese. Down here in Devon, we have really nice mature cheeses. And they can have quite a bite to them, and really, really flavoursome. So if you've been through the mill, if you've been working on something, a relationship or a work idea or a career for a long time, so even if you're a youngster watching this, it's having that ability to see things in a completely different light and bring a mature eye to it. So by that I mean, through our life experiences, our beliefs change. When you're in your teenage years, you believe certain things, and when you're in your 20s, that changes, and so on and so forth through each and every decade. But you might have ideas and beliefs that you will cling to throughout your lifetime, believing them to be true. And then you might come to a point where you screech to a halt and say, oh, I've been doing that for years, and it's never brought me joy. It's never given me satisfaction or fulfillment. I only did it because the family's done it, and great-granny did it, and great-great-granny did it. And so when we can recognise, acknowledge and discard those old programs that we've carried on behalf of our ancestors, that brings us a maturity to be able to say, I can live my life without that. Perhaps they couldn't. That was their way that they did things. But this is me now, and I've had all these years of life experience to be able to recognise what serves me and what doesn't serve me, and that doesn't serve me. So this maturity comes only through, it's like with the cheese. It only gets that flavour when it's sat in the dark for a very long time, years sometimes. So in Cheddar Gorge, there's all these caves, and they're all at a constant temperature, and that never changes. So the cheeses are formed into these beautiful truckles of all shapes and sizes and left. They're just left for years and years and years and years and years. Sometimes they're turned over, sometimes they're turned around, but they still stay there. And they don't emerge from that dark place until a certain period of time has gone by. And then from experience, the cheesemakers know that it will have that taste of maturity, that it will have that flavour, that it will have that richness. So even though on one level it looks like nothing's been happening, it's just sat there, on another level, all of its innards have been working in such a way that it's all melded together, this beautiful flavoursome product. That's what you are, a beautiful flavoursome product. So as I say, sometimes we need to be in the cave for a while, but when we do emerge, cool, you're gorgeous. Right, maturity. As a master, I'm unaffected by surprises. I know the ways of the world. I have gone beyond displaying my ego. I take care of the reputation of others. So when we master these things in our lives, and for some things it can take a lifetime to master them, but we are masters anyway. You know, we come into these physical bodies as masters. We wouldn't be here otherwise. I know the ways of the world. So, but if you go beyond displaying the ego and stamping your feet and howling at, yelling at people, because you know the ways of the world, you can be that observer. You can have that patience of staying in that cave for however long it is, because it doesn't bother you. You know you will emerge at some point as this magnificent creation. I take care of the reputation of others. So if you are taking again the analogy of the cheese, you're one cheese and there might be big cheeses, you know, around you, but you're all in that same dark place together. So you take care of the reputation of the other cheeses because you know you're a part of them. So if one falls foul or doesn't make the grade, or something occurs to it whilst it's in that dark place, then that can affect your reputation. So when you take care of the reputation of others, other cheeses around you, you then support your own emergence from that gestating space. And so, like I said, with the being sandwiched, the new moon being sandwiched between the two full moons in your sign, the moon can be about things that are hidden, that are cloaked, that are deceptive or hidden away. So when you've got this amazing fiery moon, new moon in the middle of this, things can no longer be hidden. They will have to come up to the surface at some point, and as I say, the spotlight shone upon them. So you may feel like a part of you wants to get out there and start things and get those energies moving and grooving again. But there's an interesting meteorological phenomenon going on. So this is Wednesday, it's the 3rd. Yesterday it got very dark clouds and hailstones, and they came down the chimney. I'd lit the fire and there were these little ice balls, and the grate literally pouring down my chimney. And I thought, wow, this is strange, isn't it? This is weird. Well, they do say April showers. So in the Eastern tradition, which I've studied shiatsu and Reiki and various other things, they have 5 elements. In the Western tradition, we have 4. So it's fire, earth, air, and water. But in the Eastern tradition, there's a 5th one, and that is called metal, the metal element. And so in between each season, so as we've come from winter into spring, spring to summer, etc., etc., in the Eastern tradition, there's a 2-week period which is the metal element is allotted to in between each change of season. And what tends to happen is when that metal element is activated, we slip back into the previous season. So we've had a little taster of spring, a week of sunshine and balmy breezes and feeling warmth and getting those lighter clothes out. And now we slip back into winter. And it's round about a 2-week period where the temperature drops. We've had these hailstones. Up north it's been snow and gales and such like. And then it settles back into spring. So when we get to the next changeover of seasons, from spring to summer, just pay attention. There'll be maybe a 2-week period between that changeover where you think summer's come, and you get your shorts out and your flip-flops, and then it dips back into spring. And or in the southern hemisphere, opposite way round for that. And the metal element is very important. It is also called the ethers, or the etheric energies. So we all know that we've experienced Mercury retrograde in the last couple of weeks, which has given a lot of people a headache. But this metal element is about going over things. So it's revisiting certain things to make sure that we've tidied up, we've cleared away. We don't need that stuff again. We can throw a lot of stuff away, but we can pack stuff away as well until that season comes back round again at the end of the year. And so for you, when I said, you know, I've taken 3 or 4 times to actually try and do this video for you, the stopping and starting energies, that's because of this metal element. So it's sort of added to the Mercury retrograde thing, but it's not as, hopefully not as confusing as that cycle can be. And also it being the ethers, it is spirit, it is soul energy, it is our higher aspect. And so some of you may have been feeling, when I said the stopping and starting energies, it's moving out of the 3D way of living into the 5D way of living, and we have to adjust to it. You can't just flip up from 3 to 5 because you disappear. So our bodies have to learn to adjust to these new vibrations, these new energies which are visiting us on planet Earth. A lot of it is due to the movement of the cosmos and the planets and how they all go in their rhythms and cycles. But it's larger than that, and it's how there is an awakening energy visiting. For some people it isn't welcome. So it's knocking at the door and you think, I'm not answering that, I don't want to change, I don't want to go higher up, I'm quite happy where I am. But it keeps knocking, it keeps visiting, it keeps nudging you, and the more you resist, the more you can find yourself in a low place, in a lack of energy, feeling possibly depressed, or lots of upsets around you. And when we can open that door freely and welcome in this awakening energy, even though it might feel a little bit strange, different, disconcerting, it is there for your highest good. It is there for your best well-being, and for everybody else around you. Now, I asked for an animal for you for the month of April. So, and this has come up for quite a few of the signs, which is interesting. So, through some months I have themes, which relates to everybody. And so when this card has come up again, I'm thinking, okay, but it does make sense. Right, this is Raven. Beautiful Raven energy. And the number is 16, which adds up to 7. And 7 is analysis and understanding. And that's very Libran. So analysis, understanding, analysis, understanding. And sometimes if you overanalyze, you get analysis paralysis. So you're overthinking stuff, so you never actually do anything. But with a 7 energy also, there's a magical divine aspect to it. So something is visiting you. As I say, you can refuse to let it in, but Raven energy is magic, and it isn't your stage magician. This is tapping into that cosmic consciousness, the divine infinite mind, and how we are all part of that. It isn't external to us, it isn't out there, it's all actually within us. And it's with this sort of awakening theme that's going on, it's that ability to wake up to infinite mind and how it is working through you. So when Raven appears, this is an omen saying magic is coming into your life in lots of different ways. So if you are the sort of person who prays, praying, they say, is talking to God. If you're the sort of person who meditates, they say meditation is listening to God. But however you do it, however it sits with you, is to be able to listen, so that there are no distractions around you. There's no electronic things around you. So when you walk in nature, either don't take your phone or switch it off. Don't have thingies in your ears. Just listen to what nature has to tell you, because it is far more exciting and exhilarating than having your head down looking in at a screen. You will miss so much. So as the new moon is on this Friday, you then have the weekend, because the new moon, it isn't just on that one day. The energy of it will keep moving and grooving and working up to the full moon on the 19th. Use the weekend if you can, any weekend really, not just this one coming up, but use weekends to give you that gift of freedom from electronic disturbance. Weather permitting, go out in nature, go and walk, go and, if you're into running, go running, if you're into cycling, go cycling. But finding yourself in nature, being surrounded by natural things, and listen to what is being said to you. It may be that ravens, crows, jackdaws show up, and you'll hear them because they're pretty blinking noisy. And when you look up, you may see something. Have you ever seen a murmuration of birds? And that's that exquisite aerial acrobatics they do in formation, usually towards dusk, where they're all one. It's sort of like one mind, all moving and grooving in absolute complete synchronicity. Something like that. But anything can cross your path that will give you a signal or a sign or an indication that you're on the right path, that there might be a little bit of a crossroads coming up, and to stop you getting your analysis paralysis is to see which way to go, to know which way to go, to feel which way to go. And when you listen to that higher aspect of yourself, there's no procrastination, there's no sense of delay, there's no sense of frustration. You just know that's the right thing for you. So even though there might be a bit of trepidation of oh gosh, I'm not quite sure how this is going to turn out, that's fine. But take a step. So even if you don't know how it's going to turn out, at least you've taken that step, and then the universe says, she took a step, yay, right, let's bring all this stuff in now. But if you sit on your bum and stick your head in the screen, these opportunities are going to present themselves to you, but you're not doing anything about it. So we have the mini Raven card. Here we are. And it says, open yourself to miracles. Use new eyes, believe in magic, and embrace life's wonders. And I do get for some of you that there's, well, more than one of you, it feels like there are books to be written. There are drawings to be made, paintings to be made. And some of you are artists and writers, authors. It feels like kids' books, you know, or young people, stories for young people, and but using the gifts that nature gives you. So when you are sort of in your own home, it doesn't feel like there are opportunities to notice the magic or the miracles. We can, but I just get the sense that for you during the month of April, if you can get out and about a bit more, that's when things can really come to you. And a miracle doesn't have to be enormous. It can be the tiniest of things, and it can just flip your mind out of being stuck on a certain idea or thinking that it can only be this way, and something will show up and you'll think, gosh, I never thought of that, never thought of doing it that way, and that's the miracle. Then you take action. So use new eyes, not just these two, but this one as well, your third eye, and believe in magic. So open yourself to miracles, believe in magic, because it is within us. It isn't all out there, it's actually within us. When we activate that part of ourselves, then it has to show up, and embrace life's wonders. So what did I come across the other day? I was just walking into the village, and I had to stop because I heard the most exquisite singing, and it was a robin. And I just stood still and thought, wow, so lovely, so beautiful. And I couldn't see it to begin with, and I said, oh, go on, sing again. And it did, it answered me, and it was just such a lovely gift to me. And then it came through a hedge, and it just sat there for ages. And because I was appreciating it and telling it how beautiful it was and the song that it sang, it seemed to have no fear of me, and it was just in complete and utter joy and sang at the top of its voice. And then another one joined in, so they were sort of designating their territory around me, but they didn't care about me. I wasn't any threat to them. There was just this lovely sense of, oh, how lovely to hear that, you know, it's the sound of spring. It's a feeling of that big red chest puffing out and saying, come on, girls, oh, boys, this is my territory. Come and bunk up with me, because I'm the best dude in town, and I've got the best song to sing, and we're going to have a really, really, really good time. So however the universe delivers things to you, expect miracles. Look for the magic. It's already there. And doing that, as I say, for some of you, you might write it in a book, you might paint it, you might draw it. Because when you feel the joy of that experience, you want to share it with other people. You want to let other people know how magnificent this world is. And just think of that gift that you can give to other people, that you share that experience with others. So even if you think, well, I can't draw, I can't write, that's just an old belief system. Give it a whirl, give it a go. Try. See what comes. So even if it's just sort of stick people, somebody will read it, somebody will enjoy it, and you never know, you will get more ideas and more books and drawings and paintings, etc., etc. So whatever your gifts and talents are, they've been dormant in the cave with the cheeses. But as I say, it's not as though nothing has been going on. They've been maturing. All your gifts, all your skills, all of your abilities have been maturing in the dark. So we know when we plant a seed, it has to go into... Seeds cannot germinate without being planted in the dark, in the soil. And you wait and you wait and you wait, and eventually little roots go down to anchor them. And then suddenly, one day, this tiny little green shoot pops up through the earth and says, oh, at last the light. And we are seeds. We're God's seeds. We have within us a blueprint. What a glorious idea. That when we are planted in fertile soil, and we are nourished and we are nurtured, then we can reach up and out towards the creator of all that is, because we are part of that. Now the final card is from the Wicker pack, and this is the Green Man. So this is an ancient pagan depiction of a man made out of leaves and embodied in a tree, and he's akin to Cernunnos, who's the lord of the forest, and he's all about fertility. So you see a little door there into the tree with the runes on it, and the snake coiled around the crystal ball, and little oak leaves. So it's like what I said, in an acorn is a blueprint of a tree, an oak tree. All of that packed into one tiny little seed. And when it is planted, it becomes this extraordinary creature, an oak tree. So planted within us, being little God seeds, just think what we can become. So this is a very fertile time around you. And it says growth. So it's a time for growth, it's a time for expansion, a time for spreading your branches, putting your roots down, feeling that sense of being anchored at last, grounded, safe, secure, stability. So even though winds might blow us, and I'm hearing the darling buds of May. So it's not just within the month of April. We have that sense of this is the time to start things. This is the time to plant seeds, new ideas. And then as we move through the months, something truly magnificent starts to be made manifest. You are truly amazing beings of light in a physical body. And as I say, we come out of dark areas, dark periods in our lives into the sunshine. For some of you, it might be a bit glary, having the sunshine on you. But as I said, allow your future self to guide you, to bring you to that place where it already knows what the outcome is, and it wouldn't call you if the outcome wasn't positive. So there you are, my darlings. I hope that's been of some help to you. Do leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you think about my readings. Here we have two of my painting, Abundance and Prosperity. So I give that energy to you for April. These are available to buy as canvas boards. If you'd like to know anything more about my artwork, the details are in the box below. And if any of you would like to commission some artwork, that's a possibility too. And also anyone who would like a private reading with me, again, all details are in the box below. So I wish you a wonderful April. It's the right time to really start moving forward with things. So until next time, lots and lots of love. Thanks for watching. Bye.